Folks, it's my coach used to say it's go-to time. It's go time now.
Welcome to the Kyle Olson Show. Coming off the convention week, President Trump is rising in the polls. We'll talk to Robert Cahaly of the Trafalgar Group a little bit later. But Trump is up in Michigan. He's up in Wisconsin. A new Trafalgar poll found he's up in Florida. Things, at least as of this moment, are trending in his direction. I would predict they will continue that way unless there is some massive unforeseen event. I saw a video on Twitter this week and shared it, and it went wild. Why? Just listen to this.
What were you telling those guys?
Well, I was trying to get them to understand, like, just at first answer the question, because we would give him a question for him to answer, you know, because Donald Trump is racist. Well, how's he racist? That's it.
He's been saying, I've seen him quoted saying some racist about black people.
Like what? Nothing. You got nothing. You keep saying, oh, I heard him say this. I heard him say that. But you have no facts, though, bro. You got to come with some facts. That's it. Oh, and then just repeat it and repeat it. So I'm like, look, just answer the question. But they can't answer the question because they have no facts on their side. They have no facts. They don't do any research. They don't do any type of higher learning when it comes to what they believe. All they know is what the media narrative tells them to believe, and that's all they parrot.
This is a group of 4 black guys decked out in Trump gear at a freedom rally in Los Angeles. This guy, who goes as MAGAHulk, challenged somebody to back up their claim that Trump is a racist. As MAGAHulk pointed out, the guy, of course, couldn't do that. Here's one of his compatriots explaining Black Lives Matter.
I personally believe that the BLM movement is fake. It has nothing to do with advancing the lives of black people.
They actually say they want to break up the family home.
Exactly. Their main goal is to break up the patriarchal, nuclear family. They want the men removed out of the family, which is what Democrats want also.
Exactly.
If BLM really cared about black lives, why would it be solely isolated to incidents where a black life is taken at the hands of a white cop? That happens less than 1%.
Come on.
Now, wait. Now, I like to equate this to, it's the same as if I was in a horrific accident. I have a massive head wound. I have a leg fracture and a scratch on my finger. And here come the first responders, and they want to tend to the scratch on my finger. And I'm telling you, what about the wound on my head? What about my fractured leg?
Come on.
That's what the BLM movement is. Yep. They're tending to the scratch on my finger, and that's not even what it's about. If you want to help us, let us tell you how you can help us.
Yes.
Don't come in and tell us how you want to help us, and don't tell me that I'm oppressed, because I'm not oppressed. I'm a black American. I'm a proud black American. I'm not oppressed. I'm not oppressed. I'm one of the freest persons on this world.
Come on.
Have you ever heard a more eloquent explanation than that? So what is going on right now? Joe Biden's a smart guy. He may be losing it, but he's been in politics for 50 years. He knows how the game is played. And he knows black Americans are getting fed up with Democrats, and some of them are going to Trump. Here's a story from Breitbart News written by my colleague Michael Patrick Leahy on Tuesday. Quote, the support for President Trump has surged in the black community, according to 3 recent polls. If the polls are correct, the percentage of black voters who will cast ballots for Trump in 2020 could be more than double from the 8% he received in 2016. An Emerson poll released Monday found that 19% of black voters will vote for the president this November, while a Democracy Institute Sunday Express poll released on Sunday also found the level of black support for the president at 19%. And a Zogby poll released on Monday showed 20% of black voters intend to vote for Trump instead of Biden. John Zogby said, quote, a Democrat needs 90% plus and a high turnout among blacks. Could it be that Trump's law and order message is hitting home among blacks who are worried about demonstrations getting out of control? End quote. So what is Biden's response? I think John Zogby was onto something. Biden's exploiting the deaths of black Americans to try to get some of those voters back. Why? Because if Trump can grow his support from black Americans, it's lights out for Biden. It's over. So Biden is going to say anything, propose anything, do anything to get some of that support back. It's going to get worse before it gets better. America, it's going to get uglier and more vicious before it gets better. Joe Biden this week claimed that President Trump wants the violence because he's casting himself as the law and order candidate. Joe Biden wants to continue exploiting police shootings because they give him the chance to go on the attack. Joe Biden wants racial strife. He wants black people and white people at each other's throats. That doesn't end well for our country. It may help Joe Biden get some of those voters back, but what long-term damage is being done in the process? But consider this poll. Last month, a Fox News survey found 81% of black Americans want police levels, you ready, to be kept the same or increased from where they are now. In other words, they don't support defund the police. 61% of black respondents said keep the same amount, while 20% want more police. Maybe Joe Biden is trying to drive that support down so it plays to his advantage. Maybe that's why police unions are endorsing Trump this year. Why is Trump making inroads with black Americans? One could be the emphasis during the Republican National Convention. Here was NFL great Herschel Walker.
It hurt my soul to hear the terrible names that people call Donald. The worst one is racist. I take it as a personal insult that people would think I've had a 37-year friendship with a racist. People who think that don't know what they're talking about. Growing up in the Deep South, I've seen racism up close. I know what it is, and it isn't Donald Trump. Just because someone loves and respects the flag, our national anthem, and our country, doesn't mean they don't care about social justice. I care about all those things. So does Donald Trump. He shows how much he cares about social justice in the black community through his actions. And his action speaks louder than stickers or slogans on a jersey. He keeps right on fighting to improve the lives of black Americans and all Americans. He works night and day. He never stops. He leaves nothing on the field. Some people don't like his style, the way he knocks down obstacles that get in the way of his goals. People on the opposing team didn't like when I ran over them either. But that's how you get the job done.
Here was Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron.
I also think about Joe Biden, who says, if you aren't voting for me, you ain't black, who argued that Republicans would put us back in chains, who says there is no diversity of thought in the black community. Mr. Vice President, look at me. I am black. We are not all the same, sir. I am not in chains. My mind is my own. And you can't tell me how to vote because of the color of my skin.
And Burgess Owens so eloquently called out Joe Biden for saying, quote, you ain't black if you vote for Trump.
We have a Democratic candidate for president who says that I'm not black if I don't vote for him. Now more than ever, we need leaders who stand by their principles and won't compromise their values for political opportunities. Now more than ever, we need leaders who will stand up to the lawlessness supported by the radical left. This November, we have an opportunity to reject the mob mentality and once again be the America that my great-great-grandfather believed in. During the Trump administration, business ownership among blacks, Hispanics, and females have reached all-time highs. Those same groups enjoyed record low unemployment and unprecedented prosperity, and we're just getting started. I'm running for Congress because we don't need more career politicians. We need a few more chimney sweeps. We need more leaders like President Trump who understand the freedoms that make up the fabric of America. My fellow Americans, specifically my Democrat and independent friends, it is now time for us to unite and put aside partisan barriers. Help us win back the House, keep the Senate, and give our president 4 more years, and I promise you, we will make you proud. Thank you, and God bless the United States of America.
These testimonies, I believe, are what are making a difference for Trump this year, not to mention his policies of self-empowerment through work and equal justice. When we come back, my visit this week to Kenosha, Wisconsin, and what I saw when Black Lives Matter radicals crashed Joe Biden's event there. This is the Kyle Olson Show.